Promare is such a good and stupidly fun movie. It's like Kill a Kill and Gurren Lagann had a baby. Hey, my name is Rex, and tonight I saw Promare. Now, the funny thing is, I actually kind of forgot about this anime movie. I had seen the initial trailer back, I think, at the beginning of summer, and I'd kind of forgotten about it until then, but I knew it was kind of in the back of my head. Fast forward to this weekend where I happened to be scrolling through my AMC app and I was reminded, oh hey, yeah, we're getting the release of this here in the US. So I went ahead and saw it tonight, and boy, was that amazing. And again, because I had kind of forgotten about this movie, I kind of didn't know exactly what to expect. I knew that it was made by Studio Trigger, which I really love their approach to animation. When it comes to action and movement, there's a lot of weight to the animation where it's needed. And I mean, that's typically something that should be included in animation, but I really like how they go about it typically. A lot of the times it even just feels messy. It feels like it knows that it's a cartoon, that it's animated, but it revels in that fact. I really love seeing this in their previous shows. I love, Little Witch Academia, Kill la Kill, and Gurren Lagann, technically Trigger. People who worked on the Trigger stuff worked on Gurren Lagann, and this movie Promare, you'll kind of be watching it and you'll constantly be saying, is that a Gurren Lagann reference? Well, you probably won't constantly be saying that, but there are a lot of visual similarities and it revels in that fact. I'm not going to spoil any plot details, but for the most part it starts off with basically, anime firefighters, and it stays like that, and then it kind of takes a little turn and it makes you think, oh, is this going to be really deep? Is this going to be what we're going to be dealing with? And then it kind of continues on, and again, no spoilers, but if you like Trigger, you might know how they tend to handle some things, and it kind of, I don't want to say it devolves from there, it evolves from there. It continues escalating, and it feels a lot like if this were a Trigger series and you condense it into an hour-and-a-half movie. That's it. And if you love that, that's great, because I got real hyped up with this movie. Constantly I'm sitting there thinking, yes, keep going. And it was just real fun. As far as the actual animation goes, it does stick to the typical Trigger style. There are some differences though. A lot of the characters aren't necessarily outlined in black, which tends to be something typical of most animation and most anime. So things they feel a little, not necessarily more loose, but the colors are definitely different. Not that it feels washed out exactly. There's some great use of color, especially with the fire stuff in the movie. A lot of the fire is blue and purple. It's got that it's got that vaporwave style, but it's really neat visually. Again, a lot of the action is amazing, especially with some fights. There are mecha fights. There are it gets pretty crazy. One interesting thing though, as is typical of, I suppose, modern anime, right? There is a good amount of 3D animation used. Now, whether that's something you like or something you dislike, that might affect how you feel about this. I like 3D animation, especially when it's like a fully 3D animated series. In a primarily 2D animated show that uses 3D segments for the action, sometimes it can come off as a little jarring, and that kind of does happen here in Promare. But again, there are just so many benefits to using 3D animation. You're able to have some great camera work, you're able to get some better poses, and again, with if you're going to be working with mecha, it is just, not that it's easier, and I don't want to say that in the sense, but it's more efficient, I'd say. It does, again, get crazy. Like I said, I really like Trigger's approach to animation. Just the mixing of different media. And that is typical of Studio Trigger, especially, if you like Kill la Kill, and because, sometimes some of the things that happen in there feel like it's how do I describe it? Not Flash exactly, but a similar style to that. Point is, at the beginning it is a little jarring, and sometimes it can continue to be jarring as it jumps into the 3D sequences throughout the movie, but for the most part I think it's fine because they're the typical action sequences that we can expect from the studio, and they're all great and fun. And it just gets so big and so dumb and it's so stupid, but I love it so much, and it was real fun. As far as like my actual rating for this movie, yes, it's very enjoyable. It's good. I'd say, you know, maybe like 7 to 8 out of 10, give or take. If you've seen Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill, it will affect your enjoyment of this movie. You know, whether you like those series or not. If you love them and if you really like them, like the general anime viewer does, I suppose, you're gonna like this movie. And I don't want to say that it's exactly that. You can make the joke that Trigger kind of does the same thing, or there are the Trigger tropes, but they're in here and it's kind of played a little more for laughs. I don't want to say that it being a movie as opposed to a full 26 episode series benefits it. I don't want to exactly say that it's benefited from being shorter, but it just kind of runs through things and it rolls with it. And it's one of those movies that kind of points out what it's doing and says, yeah, whatever, let's keep going. You know, whether you like that or not might affect, you know, your enjoyment of the movie. I'm fine with that. But again, it does feel a little odd because there is a bit of a tonal shift, right? Because again, it starts off with this the firefighting premise, give or take. Things start to change. It feels like it's going to get deeper, and then it kind of, I don't want to say it goes off the rails but sort of does. All the characters are pretty fine and enjoyable, but for the most part, it's going to be focusing on the two main guys because, again, it's a movie, so it doesn't have as much time to focus on everybody. There is the entire like firefighting team of people, and they're all some neat little interesting characters. And had this been developed as a series, we'd be able to go into some of their backstories. We get to see a little more of them, but they do kind of get a little pushed to the side. But again, it's all in service of focusing on the main story and the main characters. Although I gotta say, Aina is a really nice looking at character design, and I'm glad she was in the movie. But overall, Promare was real fun and enjoyable. Again, if you like Studio Trigger stuff, you're gonna like this movie. And it's just fun to see them back at making something that's really cool and really big. I saw this with my friends, so it was really fun getting to hang out with them and getting to laugh at some things, getting to get real hyped and excited at some things. And in a full theater, well, not necessarily a full theater, but a decently filled theater. It is great having everybody else's reaction to certain things that are said, certain visuals that happen, and certain ridiculous things that occur. But anyway, if you happen to see Promare, let me know what you think. Tonight was the dub viewing. There is going to be a sub viewing, I think, Thursday night, and then on the 20th, there's even more of a, not a wide release, but in select theaters. So you'll still have your chance to see it. If you saw it, let me know what you think down in the comments below, and we'll continue the discussion down there. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like, subscribe, all that cool stuff, because I've been revived to talk about anime and stuff. That'd be cool if you subbed. Anyway, this has been Rex. Have a nice day.